Whoa, here we are. Oh man, another day, another dollar. That's what they say on the East Coast, baby. Okay, well, here we are. It is April 23rd, 2025. I have this new microphone, and it's been interesting. I've always liked verbal processing. There's something about hearing your own voice back live, like to be able to just riff and talk. And it's funny because, there's definitely like, let's see, borderline, it's borderline like, I don't know, is it narcissism to like the sound of your voice? But to hear like high quality voice and the sound and the depth of your voice live, I don't know, it sounds cool. So have them in like the in-ear monitors and then talk. So since I set this up a couple of days ago, I've been like just like while I'm working, just kind of talking and singing, and I don't know. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I've been doing it. So here I am, first video recording of me using the microphone. So we've had, oh man, it's April, end of April. We're 1 month away from Bentonville Bike Fest, which is kind of the only big event we really have on the calendar this year. We definitely need to get our ducks in a row and make sure that we're dialed in for that. Breck and I are running the Kid Zone, and it's through Brecky Breck. So, I think, there's some fun things coming together. A lot of challenges with navigating this year. I think a lot of brands with like, there's a bunch of tariff stuff going on. So a lot of consumer brands are pulling back their budgets for marketing and events. That seems to be the first thing that gets cut. So making it a little bit challenging to do some of the things we wanted to do there. The nice thing is the bar is really low. So when we went there last year, well, first of all, the bar is super low because last year there was a tornado and totally tore through the town. So if we have a full weekend, that is a win. But more specifically, the Kid Zone area has kind of just been like a checkbox for them. Like, oh, we got the kid stuff. And so we went last year and realized how kind of underwhelming it was altogether, especially for like a kid experience altogether. It felt more like parents are tired and want to like go sit down for a second, so the kids just kind of like run around in a field and there's a few obstacles, and that was kind of it. There was no like programming, there was no engagement. I guess I'm downplaying it a little bit. There was some programming and some engagement, but it was minimal. So I think just, even us showing up and being a little more engaged is going to be a win. That being said, Breck and I, and we are highly ambitious. And so, initially we had some big plans. We've scaled it back a little bit, but still kind of have our work cut out for us to, make this something that's special and, that we feel good about putting our name on it. So anyway, it will be nice. I'm kind of looking forward to being on the other side of the Bike Fest, because we don't really have any hard dates for anything else this year. We haven't even like talked about scheduling filming for Brecky Breck and stuff. And there is kind of like a beauty to that. I'm definitely wanting to start to scale stuff up. But I don't think that needs to be high produced, or let's see, overproduced projects. Like I think we can really keep it simple and just kind of find our groove, use this summer to like enjoy Port Angeles here. We are traveling for the Northwest Cup bike events, and I'm helping them out with some marketing, and our kids are racing. So those are kind of the only things that really hit the calendar. There's like one race a month through the summer months. There's two that are back to back in June. So it's a little bit of traveling there, but those are pretty minimal. The expectation for what we need to do to those, other than just traveling and getting there, are pretty low. So those don't really stress me out as much. And then otherwise, it's just like, what do I want to do with my time? What opportunities do we have available to us that we can just use this season of rest to just like hone in? And rather than wait around for the next big idea. Use this rest season to really build on the big ideas that we've already built momentum with. And so that's something I think I realized recently was Brekkie Brek is a huge opportunity for us. And where am I going with this? I think, I get excited about new things often. And so it's easy for me to kind of treat projects as experiments. And once it kind of starts going well, that experiment is kind of over for me. It's like, oh, cool. Yeah, we did it. I could see how I could continue growing this, but why would I? I'm going to go try other things. And I think I'm at a place now where I'm, first of all, recognizing that as a pattern, which I think is an important step that I hadn't in the past. And also, I think I've had enough experiments, which are also experiences, that have given me enough tools and insight and I guess perspective to like do stuff well, like actually achieve things that maybe I wasn't previously equipped to achieve. And so I think that's where, I'm at now, specifically with Brekkie Brek, is like, all right, the door is like wide open on this thing. We have a ton of momentum. We have a ton of support. We have a ton of traffic to our channel. We have a ton of work that we've put into it. Why would we not continue to try to grow this in a way to where it becomes self-sustaining rather than just say, this is a fun little project. Look at this little thing we do. So that's kind of been my perspective, is just trying to figure out, how do I organize my time in a way to where I can feel good about maybe settling into that role a little bit more, rather than kind of keep looking for the next experiment to give me motivation to continue. So that's difficult for me, especially because I've been doing this pattern for such a long time. I'm super grateful for all the experiences and experiments that I've done. But I'm definitely like, I've done a lot. So now I'm like, all right, let's settle in a little bit. We're coming at, kind of the last season of time with our kids at home. So, how can we do this well, build up a little bit more stability that allows us to do cool things. Being tight and running day to day is awesome. But there are things that we miss out on because we don't have, we don't own a home and we don't have a ton of cash flow and we don't have a big savings account. So when we do come up with big ideas, we don't have something that's running that can keep supporting those big ideas. We kind of have to just hustle our way through it. So that's my goal. And again, I think with Brekkie Brek specifically, it's like we have the ball's rolling. And so now it's just a matter of like continuing momentum. And, I think there's a strong reality that, we grow from $2,000 a month to $10K a month. Like it's just a matter of turning the dials and getting a little more serious. And that's a huge jump. And $10K a month of passive, ad revenue is huge. And that could, open the door for a lot of other things. Most specifically, it could allow me to scale back the pressure I feel to do website and marketing work. I think that's something that I'm realizing is draining me, significantly draining me. And so, if they're both draining me, if I'm, getting burnt out with Brekkie Brek, but Brekkie Brek can be something that leads to a sustainable growth trajectory for a project that I own, versus website work is just simply like paying the bills and like getting ready for the next experiment. Why wouldn't I put that effort into something that, can be self-sustaining and continue on once I do take my foot off the pedal? So, so that's what I've been processing lately. I'm going to ramp up our vlog stuff and try to get a little more consistent with that. Not daily, but I'm going to try to do a weekly vlog. I have probably, a good 8. I could probably do a ton. I honestly probably have like 20 vlogs that are recorded that I could edit, but I think I'm going to skip. I'm pretty far behind, and I don't want to do like Christmas vlog from December in, May. So I'll probably skip over like the holidays. We did some fun adventures in January and February. and March and April now. So I probably have about 10 weeks worth of vlogs, so one a week. And then just thinking, creatively how to get into a place where we can do one. Oh, there we go. Still recording? Yeah. One a week, just go on an adventure a week and just kind of be intentional about like, all right, today I am doing something, somewhat entertaining. So I'm going to record it and vlog style. So that's fun. Yeah, no, it's been good. And, I think with ramping down experiments, that will allow me to have more capacity to invest into like where the kids want to be too. They're getting really into mountain biking, and I'm realizing like we need gear and bikes and stuff. And if I'm just chasing experiments, it's really hard for me to justify, or not even justify, but get to a place where I can drop $2,000 on a bike times 3 times maybe 4, right? So we're getting really scrappy and kind of doing things, half-ass, and it just doesn't feel good sometimes. So that's where it's like, all right, get your stuff in order here. Settle in, start like owning the hat you're putting on instead of just, thinking that you're going to take it off a little bit. And that's even part of like why we chose to stay here in Port Angeles, is it was kind of the same thought process. I really love and appreciate Breck. Like I think she enjoys the ride. It's tough at times, but like, we make stuff work, and between the two of us, we dream and get stuff done, and dream and get stuff done. So, we definitely aren't, it's hard for both of us. We have a hard time like settling in and really like being thorough about the work and the stuff we get done, but we do step up to the table, and, there's never a moment where one of us is not, at the table, like ready to, contribute. And so I guess where I was going with this was, I really appreciate her. She's been so, supportive since day one, just allowing me to dream and getting behind kind of the dreams that we've had together. She's had dreams, or goals that we've pursued, and I've had some, but she really allows me to just kind of be me. She trusts me. She likes, genuinely likes, what I bring to the table. And, there's definitely times where we challenge each other, but, I just really appreciate having, a life partner that lets me be me and do my thing, and, gets excited because she knows that it's going to benefit her and the kids and the family as well. So I appreciate that. I think it definitely gets, it ends up being like a little bit enabling sometimes to like, be a little more loosey-goosey, which is good for seasons. But I think that's where I'm starting to recognize we've kind of enabled each other in this pattern of like, we'll just hit the reset button. So coming back to Port Angeles, I should say, after the tour, I was like, you know what? We've got some roots in the ground here, and it would be hitting the reset button to try to go move somewhere else right now. We're coming up on a beautiful summer season, and I have this office, Wander Fuca, here. So, what if I did settle in and like get stuff over the threshold? So with Wander Fuca, I kind of put my head down and got memberships. We got the space mostly finished up, and now like we're paying all the bills from the space, and it's really cool. There's a community of people there that work there that are excited to be there, and it fuels me to a degree too, because it was something that, I just like being around other like-minded people and dreamers and doers and entrepreneurs and travelers, and that's a space where we can kind of all come together and share in the community, if you will. So that's good. And now I'm trying to like apply that same mentality to these other areas of projects that we have. So if you look around here in the office, I'm like getting my setup all dialed. This is our garage. So, why is it blurry? Anyway, it's blurry. Sorry. Yeah, just getting like our stuff cleaned up. Here's all our camera gear. I bought a new camera, which is cool. It's blurry. This sucks. Anyway, I'll pull it back to me. Sorry. So yeah, I'm excited. It'll be good. It's hard to get the energy to like, I have probably 6 website projects open right now, and honestly, I'm just like, if I can just get through these, I don't know. It's so hard to wake up in the morning and just be like, bust them out. But the reality is, like, if I spent like 2 hours on each of them, I'd be done. But I literally, man, it's so difficult. It's hard. And so I think that's probably my biggest hurdle is just like being disciplined, and not allowing myself to bite at the distractions of like new ideas. Right. So it's like, it's insane. Like, I don't know. I just see opportunities and ideas and projects and fun, like, things everywhere I go. Everything I do, I'll wake up in the middle of the night and like have a business idea or have, some sort of fun thing. And so, turning that off is really difficult. But if I can redirect that energy for at least a season, again, this is like, I don't have to like change who I am, but if I can just like, for the rest of 2025, I scratched my itch. We traveled the country. We had all these awesome experiences. Trust that was a good, what am I looking for? The word, like, that was a good mix of experiences enough to cover the rest of this year. And so like, just use that to, I guess, allow me to rest and not try to do anything crazy and just like settle into things that I know how to do. That's the other thing is like, I consult with brands and businesses and other YouTubers all the time. And I tell them, here's what I think you should do. And when they do that, they're successful. And I don't apply that to myself because I don't want to do those things. So, it's like, I know exactly what we need to do to be successful for the YouTube channel, how to get to this growth, but it's just finding that energy to just like turn everything else off, take a breath, and like settle into your groove here. So I've been exercising a lot more lately, playing basketball, playing softball, not working out. I think that's the thing that I'm like trying to get to a point where I can like add that into the mix and just like, I don't know, feel good about just like physically gaining more energy. And I think sleeping is going to be important, being 32, coming up on 33, I'm realizing that, I can't just like be in overdrive all the time anymore. Like I used to, I used to be able to just like stay up late, like work all day during the day and then stay up, super late at night. And like mentally I was able to just be present for, everything that I was doing. But now I'm finding myself just like dead. So it's like I legit I woke up this morning because I had a website meeting that I was preparing for. And I didn't finish the things that I needed to get done for it, which is stupid. Like I could be done with this project, but I keep taking these meetings and not getting enough done before the meetings. And then like, all right, I'll keep working on more. And even like doing this video, I feel like is a little bit of me like procrastinating for sure. Anyway, I was getting tired. And so I went and took a nap in the hammock out there. And then I woke up and I'm still tired. And so I'm like walking around, I'm eating food, I'm drinking water, I'm coming out here. And I'm just like, come on, dude, get your freaking brain rolling. So the hard thing is like, I don't know why, but like 10, 11 o'clock at night rolls around. And that's when my creativity surges all the time. Like for like since I was little, like that's always been the case. And I don't know if it's like the physical cycle of my body. Like I just get to a point where I like got through the day and I've been awake enough and like there's a special time of being awake that it like triggers it. Or if it's like dark, being dark, I always assume that it's like the rest of the world is asleep. And so there's no external distractions. And so I just get to just be me. But I don't know. I definitely want to figure out how to like channel that. Like editing Brekkie Brek, for example. I have such a hard time editing video in general during the day. I don't know why. I just like, I'll sit down and try to edit during the day and I feel like I just can't like get into my zone. But 9, 10, 11 rolls around and it's just like, dude, I can edit for 5-6 hours and almost not even blink an eye. So, yeah, it must be the distractions element, during the day, the sun's out and dogs are barking and the kids are wanting to play and have fun, and my friends are texting me about playing pickleball or whatever. There's meetings happening. People are emailing me. So it probably is distractions. But anyway, that's long enough. 20 minutes. Man, sit down and talk for 20 minutes straight.